Hello, my name is Lucas. This is a bit of lit. I'm doing the Letterboxd movie tag created by Lucy Rutherford. Um, I'm bringing it back from the dead, a bit of a necromancer there. And yeah, I love talking about my favorite movies, and that's what this is all about. Number one, what movies are in your top four, i.e., your top four favorite films? This is a very difficult question. I don't watch too many films year-round, but I have watched quite a few. Thanks to Criterion Channel, I've been able to watch a whole bunch of movies I'd never have an opportunity to watch before. I'd never had before, but yeah, I'm gonna try and go through them all as quickly as I can. One of my favorite movies is definitely Stalker by Andrei Tarkovsky. And, it's very difficult to choose a favorite Tarkovsky, although I think Stalker is one of the easier ones to get into, if you can say that about Tarkovsky. I guess Ivan's Childhood is pretty straightforward, but some of those movies, man, are just like, what is going on? His use of cinematic language is sometimes very difficult to parse through, but in Stalker, it's just a wonderful film, a great exploration of human desire and needs, and this great philosophical journey where a stalker, a man, takes these two other guys who have needs and wishes and desires, hopes and dreams that they want fulfilled, that they believe there is a place in the Forbidden Zone that they can go to, and once they enter, they can, there will be consequences, but they can achieve their goals after. And yeah, man, it's just an amazing slow burn. Absolutely wonderful. It's been a long time since I've seen it. It's so long, so it's hard for me to justify rewatching it, but I'm always down for Tarkovsky. Another favorite of mine comes from another great director. This one comes from Hong Kong, Wong Kar-wai. In the Mood for Love by Wong Kar-wai. It's a great, disturbing kind of movie of a love affair that cannot be. Just one of the most heartbreaking movies I've ever seen, where I'm also like a little bit grossed out by what I'm seeing these people do. Two of the most gorgeous people you've ever seen, Tony Leung and Maggie Cheung, move in next to each other, and eventually they find out that their spouses are having an affair with the other's spouse. So they role play as the other's spouse to try and figure out and reenact how this could have happened. Meanwhile, they are falling in love, and it's just like they live in a very conservative place, and this is a very delicate, tricky situation socially. All kinds of issues arise from that, and all I can say is the end at Angkor Wat, just, man, I've never been so devastated by an image in my life, and I don't think I ever will be, especially with the soundtrack. Oh my god, so good. Another one, I was gonna put a Akira Kurosawa film on here, but one of these other questions I will sort of talk about that. But if I had to put a number 5, it would be Ikiru by Akira Kurosawa. But another one is a smaller sort of short film called Butterlamp by a Chinese director, Hu Wei. I believe he made it through some French production company or something. And it is sort of, it has no professional actors. It has some real Tibetan people who are sort of paid to kind of play a role in a sense, but they're not necessarily acting all that much. And it is a devastating movie. It's this photographer helping all these different people in different parts of their life take pictures and change the background for them. I mean, there's like a young married couple, there are these kids, there's different families, there's an elderly lady, and you know, he changes the background for each one and talks to them about their hopes and dreams and desires as well. And all of the things that are in the background are really like aspirational, incredible things that these people could never afford. Like the married couple has this nice home for a picture in the background, and you know, there's an image of the Beijing Olympics from 2008, and Disneyland as well. And then, of course, when the old lady sees Lhasa, the Potala Palace, and just, you know, bows and prays to it, just... But then it's time to wrap it up, and everything comes up. The background things come up because they're packing up, and what you see in the actual background of this part of Tibet is the most gorgeous place you've ever seen. I mean, it is beautiful. But in the middle is the beginnings of the construction of a highway. And it's just like, so I've ruined it for you. It's amazing. You gotta watch it, man. It's just so good. And then my favorite movie for a long time. I haven't watched it the past few Christmases, and I'm dying to, but I could watch it anytime, but it's a Christmas movie. It's a Wonderful Life by Frank Capra. I just love George Bailey. Definitely was a kind of role model. Very self-sacrificial, always sort of does what's right, sticks it to the capitalist man, you know, and such a good guy. And that at the end, when they're all singing Auld Lang Syne, just to see his life and what it would be like without him as well. Just a really great concept for a movie, and really well executed and well acted, and it's just beautiful. I love that movie. Let's move on. We've got we've got 5 more questions, and we're 8.5 minutes into this. Sean Baker, number 2, director of the Florida Project, which I do enjoy quite a bit, and Tangerine, I've never seen it, is well known on Letterboxd. If your favorite directors had Letterboxd, who would you be following? Yeah, I guess I'd definitely be following Akira Kurosawa to see what he has to say about John Ford movies, because I love John Ford and I love Akira Kurosawa. I don't think I'd really follow anybody else, because I think I might follow Andrei Tarkovsky as well, because he was quite a sharp, critical film critic kind of guy too. But I might only follow those 2. Pretty basic answers, but yeah, I just think those 2. Maybe Bong Joon-ho if I was going for a modern director, because I really enjoy a lot of his short films, and Parasite, and so Mother is very good as well. Number 3, can you tell? Letterboxd can tell you the percentage of films you've seen starring individual actors. Which actor do you think you have the highest percentage for? Most definitely Willem Dafoe. I have seen I don't know how many movies with Willem Dafoe, but he would definitely be in it. Recently, Spider-Man No Way Home, which I don't really like. And then I've also seen The Lighthouse recently, which I do love. And, I've just seen the Florida Project as well, I've watched recently. So he's going to be the highest percentage by far. And that's just like this year, not including past years where I've seen lots of his other movies. Number 4, Letterboxd users love making up subgenres using lists. For example, curious young girl finds herself in a magical fantasy land where she makes eccentric friends, fights an evil, and no authority figure seems to believe her about said magical fantasy land when she returns home. A subgenre, which features films like Pan's Labyrinth, The Wizard of Oz, and Coraline. If you were to create a favorite subgenre, what would the title of your list be? I suppose, and I don't want to necessarily exclude any gender, but old man decides to do something right and something good for once in his life, a subgenre. And the first on the list would be Ikaru, which is a Japanese movie by Akira Kurosawa, which translates literally to live, I believe. And it is an incredible movie about a Japanese bureaucrat in the Parks and Recreations Department of Tokyo, I believe. And he finds out right at the beginning that he's got stomach cancer, inoperable, and he's going to die. And the rest of the movie, well, is him working to do something with his life because he realizes he's wasted it pushing papers. And so what he does is, when an opportunity arises, when some mothers from a local neighborhood are complaining about a dangerous sort of pitfall area where children are playing and getting hurt, like a little block, he takes it upon himself to cut the red tape and do what he can, do some favors, do all this sort of stuff, do anything he can to turn that into something usable for the whole community and for children. And he does it through the middle of the film, and then he dies in the middle of the film. And then there's the other half of the film, which is also incredible, and also his relationship with his child and stepdaughter. Just so many good things about it. What is particularly just the best part about it, I mean, the old man doing what's right, him building the park, and you see him swinging and singing that song to himself. Oh, that's such a beautiful scene, man. What's even better is that at his funeral, his co-workers are all, they all vow, they figure out, piece it together, how did he do this? And then they all vow, we should be like the old man, work to make everything better. The next day, they go right back to doing what they were doing, pushing papers, not doing anything, not helping anyone, falling into their old bureaucratic ways. But then, that's just like so human in its own right. But then, what do you see? There's a scene of children playing and people watching over this new park that's been built. And he's made an impact. He's changed people's lives. And as much as I love that scene of him, swinging by himself, and I do kind of wish that was sort of the ending image, I think that's just so much more powerful, right? Because his life had value. It helped other people. He helped others, and he did something great. And I love that movie so much, man. Also, he's like a Christ-like figure too. So there's that. But even without that, just incredible. Number 5, do you have any recently watched recommendations? Yeah, I suppose The Batman. I just watched that recently. Amazing. So cool. I love it. Very slow burn. Yeah, I really love that one. And if I had to say any others, I might say Threads, which is a UK film. I wouldn't really watch it these days, but Threads is a great UK film about the end of the world, about what would happen if there was a nuclear war, and how would people survive. It is utterly devastating, very painful to watch, but it's done in a sort of documentary kind of style, and that makes it so much worse. But it is really well acted, really well done, great set pieces for its budget, and yeah, I mean, it is really a great movie that is horrifying. I happened to watch it like right before the Ukraine war started. Yeah, that was not, emotionally speaking, the best decision, but incredible film. Number 6, any upcoming films you're looking forward to and or films you want to watch soon? Yes, I'm looking forward to watching on Criterion Channel. I don't know about any films coming up this year. All the ones that I really wanted to watch have already come out. But films that I'm really looking forward to on Criterion Channel's streaming service thing, they have a new thing for John Ford as a young film director. They have a lot of his early films, so I'm looking forward to watching those, because I really love John Ford's work, and I haven't seen those. I did actually recently find out that a lot of those, if not all of them, are on YouTube, so I don't really need that, but to watch, I don't need Criterion Channel to watch those. But I'm also looking forward to watching Touch of Zen, which is a 1971 film by Hong Kong or Taiwanese director King Hu. He makes a whole bunch of wuxia films, and yeah, man, which is like a Chinese kung fu fighting fantasy kind of story. I recently watched Raining in the Mountain, which is just an amazing movie. Very cool. A very cool movie about there's an abbot, the leader of this Buddhist temple, and he's in his 90s, and he needs to choose his successor very soon. And he has some advisors, a local general and like a landlord of some sort who's very well connected. And these two are corrupt, and they're offering help by promoting, making recommendations for the next monk to become the abbot. So what they are doing is, in return for getting that monk promoted, the monk who does get promoted will give this ancient scroll from Tripitaka, who is the monk from Journey to the West, if you know that story. Amazing story with Sun Wukong, the Monkey King. It's one of a kind, and yeah, it's very, very good. Because there's all kinds of, there's not a lot of action till the very end, which I think makes it even better, but there's all kinds of tricks and plots and politics going on, and there's another great character who is a convict who bought a pardon to become a monk, who had been arrested by a lieutenant that works for the general, so there's, all kinds of connections and plots and things going on. But that's a great movie. Anyway, I look forward to watching A Touch of Zen, which came out 8 years before Raining in the Mountain. But A Touch of Zen and a lot of early John Ford movies, because he's phenomenal. And I'd like to see his progress as a film director. So this has gone on long enough. Thank you. Goodbye.